Well, let's pick up some of these points now and talk to Sandrine Dixson-Declève, the co-president of Club of Rome, a Swiss non-profit organisation that focuses on solutions to global emergencies. Sandrine, welcome to the programme. We've been reporting world leaders agreeing on their first major pledge on deforestation. How significant is that?
I think it's incredibly significant. It's significant because what we're seeing is it's the first time that we actually have very large countries such as the US, but also Russia and China, and actually Brazil as well, pledging to truly stop deforestation by 2030. So it's both the number of countries, more than 100, it's the size of the countries, and then it's actually the amount of money, the capital flow, both from private and public sector funds that are going towards not only deforestation, but a series of other activities so that we ensure that we protect and we regenerate our forests.
Separately, I think it's more than 90 countries have now agreed to try to reduce methane emissions. China, Russia and India have not signed up to this. That's pretty disappointing, presumably. How significant and how useful is this agreement?
Well, this is why we need all of these different agreements to complement each other. And clearly the reduction of methane is fundamental. It's fundamental because we truly need to shift out of gas. We need to make sure that actually our refineries and our gas producers are reducing the methane in there. In the past, we've had many agreements. But here, the fact that some of the major countries are not agreeing to methane reduction when we know that it's such an important short-term greenhouse gas is truly disappointing. So, again, this is what happens at COPs. You get some of these incredible commitments that are really setting the tone for hope. And then you get some of these other commitments that you are hopeful will bring in some of the big countries that don't. We need to continue to hold those countries accountable and bring them on board so that they do sign.
Ahead of this COP26, you said you were pessimistic about outcomes. You're there soaking up the atmosphere, listening to the mood music. I wonder, has your position changed? How do you see this COP?
Let's just say that I remain still on the fence. I do think that we're seeing optimism in today's announcements, as I said, with regard to forestry. You know, in terms of the scale and also the speed, we're saying that this is a decisive decade. So the fact that we have one of the most monumental commitments coming from so many countries that are truly going to try to make a difference by 2030 and reverse the huge impact we've had on forests, that is fundamental. But then we know that actually to reach 1.5, we need more commitments in terms of our NDCs that are truly moving the bar, and they're not. So coming out of COP, we know that there are many ways in which we're not going to reach our 1.5 commitment, and we also know that the 100 billion and translating that into an annual figure for those developing countries and those countries that need it the most to truly shift is still not coming either. So we're going to have to translate those key actions into something that's tangible by the end of COP, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that. But the forestry commitments do get us some way to where we need to go.
The EU's chief, Ursula von der Leyen, is urging world leaders to put a price on carbon. I wonder, how would those carbon markets work? And realistically, is that going to be signed off there?
So we've been calling for a price for carbon for a very long time, and clearly the EU are one of the first that put in place the emissions trading scheme. We also obviously have California and so many other countries that have started to truly put a price on carbon. When we've seen that in Europe, actually, the price has systematically gone up and is the highest it's ever been. But to join it up as an international price of carbon that works in terms of market forces is going to take some more work. Working continuously with the Chinese that have also launched their market and bringing in so many other countries that for the moment have not committed. This would be a game breaker if we were able to truly get an international carbon market agreement. We've already got the World Bank and we've got many of the MDBs that have been supporting this move. So I think everyone is ready. But to be frank, we've been waiting for this for more than 10 years. If we do it here, then that will be one of the major commitments alongside forestry that we could really hope for.
Maybe we'll talk later in the week. For the moment, sincere thanks, Sandrine Dixson-Declève there for us in Glasgow.